Hi, welcome to Inspiration Daily for December 20th, 2021. I'm Gina Greenlee, your host with GinaGreenlee.com. Hey, today's inspiration is vintage fabric. I believe I bought this. I'm a collector of vintage fabric, not a heavy collector, but I just love this. I can't truly express why, I just love it. As the poet Rumi said, follow the strange pull of what you really love. And that's what I do. I follow the strange pull of what I really love, and I love vintage fabric. And when I was growing up in New York City, I would shop in the vintage clothing shops, and I loved seeing this material, and I would buy clothing made of this material. I'd buy handbags made of this material, and vintage material. And I remember when I lived in an artist community in Hartford, Connecticut, I got my hands on some material, and I tend to like florals. And I asked my neighbor, who was very handy as a carpenter craftsman, to create a tri-fold screen for me on which I could display the jewelry that I made. I told you I had multiple art practices, and this was the type of fabric. I mean, that was, oh my God, that was 30 years ago, but this was the type of fabric that I asked him to use. And so what I'd like to do is show you, I've been talking a lot about the inspirations and what they inspire me to do, and but I've decided to actually, I'm trying to keep these short, but I want to show these. I shared that I design clothes. I design clothes from scratch, and then I sketch a rough pattern that I then take to a tailor. The tailor I'm working with these days, her name is Cecilia, and she's a magician with a sewing machine. She has several sewing machines of all different varieties, and that's why I don't sew, but I pay her. So I do some rough sketches, and then I safety pin things together to give her a visual, because I don't know how to make formal patterns. I didn't go to design school. But this is an example of how I've used some of that fabric, and this was, I loved sort of the asymmetry of it. I just was cutting the fabric up for other projects, and then this thing here is let your true colors show. This background, if you will, is a dish towel that I got at the dollar store, and I like the fact that it had texture, because I love texture. You can see that from the blouse that I'm wearing. You can see it from the background behind me. I love texture, but I wanted something quiet, textured but not loud, to use as a background. So then I just layered some of that vintage fabric on top, and then what else? Oh, I have a little patch down here. So that's one pant leg. So I have some patches up here for the jeans. So that's what I did with that fabric, and then here's the other. Whoops! Here's the other leg. So again, I'm dealing with a floor, and these are just patches that I got online, and then I had Cecilia sew them on. So that's the front view of the pants, and then the rear view, right? So this is the rear view of the jeans, and then I've got the floral pattern on one leg, and what I do it on the other leg. So again, it's just something that I like to play with. So again, vintage fabric, and I like to work with scraps, and I like to work with, I don't like things to be symmetrical. I find that incredibly boring. So Inspiration Daily for December 20th is vintage fabric and all the amazing things you can do with it.